Live from the new Peoria Riverfront Museum, this is HOI 19 News at 5:30 with Marshanna, Hester, and Chief Meteorologist Chuck Collins.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marshanna Hester. You are watching a special edition of HOI 19 News at 5:30. As you can see, I'm not in the studio. In fact, I'm in downtown Peoria here at the Riverfront Museum and Caterpillar Visitor Center. Tonight, we're going to show you just a little bit of what you can see inside this wonderful facility and how it all came to be. But first, we want to begin with your news of the day. Peoria police are sending a big message to violent gangs under the city's Don't Shoot initiative. This after the arrests and indictments of 12 people involved in a gang. Peoria police have charged a dozen individuals and with weapons and drug offenses and membership in a gang called the Bomb Squad. Some of those arrested are already in custody, and authorities are working to get a couple of more members off the streets. Peoria County State's Attorney Jerry Brady says they're hoping the arrests of Bomb Squad gang members will make others think twice about becoming involved in violent groups.
There appears to be this, and I said propensity, this interest of young people to associate with a group like the Bomb Squad because it gives them a sense of identity, albeit wrongful identity. In other words, exactly what we want to deter young people from doing.
Brady would not say which members of the group may have been directly responsible for the Star Street double shooting and homicide last month. Transportation officials are putting the pedal to the metal, building excitement about the future of high-speed rail here in the heart of Illinois. Earlier today, local, state, and federal lawmakers were on hand in Normal to commemorate the first ever high-speed rail trip along the Chicago to St. Louis corridor. This was just a one-time demonstration. Actual high-speed travel won't be available to riders for another few years. Amtrak officials had hoped the train would reach a top speed of 110 miles per hour. It actually reached 111. Those who felt that speed firsthand call it a unique experience.
It's going to be interesting to see how it really goes through. It's got a lot of stops between here and Chicago. But I tell you what, I did have the opportunity to ride on the test train, and it was very fast, very smooth, and very interesting.
A little scary driving it that fast?
No, not really. It doesn't seem like we're going that fast, so we look at on the interstate and find out nobody's passing us for a change.
Funding for the high-speed rail project was largely made up of $1.2 billion in grants from the Obama administration and $400 million from the state. Well, Chuck, it doesn't matter if you're going to come by rain, or not by rain, by rail, car, or, bus, or however. You're going to want to come to this facility and see what they have in store here.
Now, tonight, it's good we're not having the grand opening tonight because it's going to be yucky out there, windy, rainy, chilly. So if you're going to high school football, dress appropriately. But tomorrow and Sunday for the opening weekend, picture perfect. Let's dial up that forecast for your weekend. Partly sunny skies. We'll get the clouds and the rain out of here later on tonight. And we'll check out about 60 as your high tomorrow, then 70 on Sunday, and maybe some showers and thunderstorms on Monday, but 70s all next week. So got some warm weather ahead and some storms here and there, but it looks like a great weekend for the opening of the museum.
A great welcoming weather-wise for the folks who are going to be making their way down here tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Lots of them.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the opening of Peoria's Riverfront Museum has taken a long time of planning and building.
That's right. Maggie Vespa breaks down the process of one of the largest construction projects in Peoria's history and what it means to those who pitched in.
It may not sound exciting, but 56-year-old David Ellis couldn't be happier to be laying down sod.
I worked on the theater with Williams Brothers, pouring concrete, and now I'm with the landscaping company.
A longtime local laborer, Ellis has spent the last 2 years working on the Peoria Riverfront Museum. He says the end result is worth the wait.
It's looking a lot better than it started. That's all I can say, lots better.
That's because when it started, it looked like this. Here we rewind all the way back to the groundbreaking ceremony, September 7th, 2010. After a years-long battle surrounding payment plans, officials were more than ready to get to work.
Well, I think this is where the rubber meets the road.
And crews had their work cut out for them. The Riverfront Museum would be 86,000 square feet and cost $140 million. Its next door neighbor, the Caterpillar Visitor Center, would be 50,000 square feet and cost $37 million. For the next 2 years, progress was constant. The makeup of Peoria's riverfront steadily shifting. This at a time when construction work was near impossible to find.
When we first started talking about it, things were busy, and we were concerned about manning this job, but then the bottom fell out of the entire economy nationwide, as everybody knows. And by the time we got people on this project, we desperately needed the employment, and to have people working here for over 2 years was just tremendous.
And that's something Peoria's economy can build on in the future. Reporting at the Peoria Riverfront Museum, I'm Maggie Vespa.
If you plan to visit the Riverfront Museum, you may be wondering where you can park. Well, officials encourage visitors to park in any of the free parking decks over the weekend. They say your best bet is to stay on the Washington Street side of the museum when looking to park early. Visitors will not have access to the parking deck on Water Street before 10 a.m. General admission to the museum is $11 for adults, $10 for seniors, and $9 for children. Well, the Peoria Riverfront Museum isn't the only new attraction on this block. The Caterpillar Visitor Center is right next door. Like the museum, it's meant to be an experience, not just a place to show off tractors new and old, but the biggest draw will probably be the Cat 797F mining truck. It is the largest truck in the world, and it holds a 70-seat theater in its bed. Caterpillar workers, retirees, and kids get into the visitor center for free. General admission is $7. Area businesses are looking to cash in on the opening of the Riverfront Museum as well. In fact, some local business owners have already hired new staff to accommodate the big crowds that are expected down here. Rhythm Kitchen on Water Street will have extended hours because of the new business. Owners hope to see from the museum.
We're not going to have a lull in business at all. I think that we used to close from 2 to 5, but now we're staying open throughout the entire day. We're looking in opening on Mondays too. We used to be open Tuesday through Saturday, and now we're going to extend hours on Mondays also.
Rhythm Kitchen employees say they have already begun to see the new faces in the restaurant due to the opening of this wonderful facility. Well, still ahead tonight, find out what you can expect in the new planetarium inside here. And by the way, while you're at it, grab some popcorn. We're taking a look inside one of the Riverfront's biggest attractions, the giant movie screen. We'll be right back.
Live from the new Peoria Riverfront Museum, this is HOI 19 News at 5:30.
And welcome back, everybody, to a special edition of HOI 19 News at 5:30, live from the new museum downtown Peoria, the Peoria Riverfront Museum and Caterpillar Visitor Center. And we've got some gray skies out there tonight, but opening weekend weather looks good. We'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes. Let's go outside and see how gray it is, because we've had some chilly conditions, windy conditions, and some rain out there as well. There's our York Heating and Air Conditioning Cam downtown Peoria Methodist Medical Center. And yeah, a few clouds and some more rain rolling in as well. Let's take one more stop on the camera network and see what's happening elsewhere, because the Bratcher Heating and Air Conditioning geothermal cam Hewitt Hall at ISU, yeah, there's a little bit of sun trying to break through a few clouds out west, but we still have a couple of waves of rain to deal with here later on tonight. What about those weather headlines? Well, let's check those out, because those are important for this weekend. We're going to see a nice weekend as far as weather-wise is concerned. Rain, drizzle ends tonight, decreasingly cloudy skies late. The 70s on the way. Looks like 70s most of next week coming up here in central Illinois. So yeah, we're going to warm things up a little bit and see some showers and thunderstorms along the way next week as well. Took it on the chin today though. 50 the high in Peoria, 63 is normal, so with 13 degrees below normal on the high side. We started the day at 44. That's about where we should be. Right now temperatures pretty much holding their own all day long today. Upper 40s, low 50s around the region, and our temperatures will be dropping off into the upper 30s, low low 40s. The skies clear out later on tonight. And your regional temperatures, 54 in St. Louis right now, 50 in Chicago. So it's a little chilly out there. The clouds are helping that out. Notice that little wave of energy around the Quad Cities kind of rotating around the backside of the big upper level low that's been plaguing us the past couple of days. And we'll have one more little wave of energy in here tonight, and then we'll clear things out gradually overnight and tomorrow morning. So if you're going to high school football action tonight, take the rain gear, dress like it's going to be cool out there, because it will be. Surface map has that system rotating on out of here, and then rain drizzle ending tonight, and the winds will lighten up. Decreasingly cloudy skies, 37 to 41 on the low side. Partly sunny skies for the opening of the museum complex tomorrow, 58 to 61. Warmer yet, 70 on Sunday. Maybe a shower thunderstorm chance with a stationary front in here Monday and Tuesday. But look at those temperatures. Mid, maybe upper 70s the middle part of next week as well. So the warm stuff not giving up. We just have to get through tonight and tomorrow before we're back to the 70s for a few days.
Well, it's going to be wonderful. And did you know there's a museum? I mean, not a museum.
I know there's a museum, yes.
A museum here. A movie theater inside here?
You better believe it.
What do you think about where we are right now, one of these art galleries? Isn't it beautiful?
This is fantastic. Everybody's got to see this.
Definitely.
There's no doubt about it. Make your way down here in any way you can. Yeah.
Of course. Well, speaking of movies, coming up, we're going to tell you which movies you can see inside the museum here. I'm getting my M's mixed up, apparently. Plus, seeing the wonder of space in an entirely different way. We'll have the details coming up next, live from the Riverfront Museum at 5:30.
Live from the new Peoria Riverfront Museum, this is HOI 19 News at 5:30.
The Riverfront Museum is going to bring something new in entertainment here to the heart of Illinois. In fact, it is 5 stories high and 7 stories wide. Check this out. The museum's new 3,600 square foot movie screen is on par with the one at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Along with the big screen, the theater will boast more than 20 speakers and be almost soundproof when the doors are closed.
And in front of that, there's only 200 seats. So it's a very intimate setting. It's very immersive.
How long are we going?
Starting Monday, the giant screen theater will play 2 3D movies. One is Rescue, the other is Sea Monsters, a prehistoric adventure. Both movies will be shown every day. For times, just go to the website, PeoriaRiverfrontMuseum.org. Well, another amazing entertainment feature of this museum is the $1 million state-of-the-art planetarium. And joining me now is the curator of the planetarium here at the Riverfront Museum, Sheldon Schaefer. Sheldon, thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, it's exciting to be here on this exciting day before.
I can only imagine. Now, what are your feelings now that you've accomplished such a big project and been a part of it?
Well, it's always great to see things culminate with, I guess, I had a vision that we'd hope would come out, and basically it came out the way the planning, suggested it would. Okay. And not all planning seems to come out exactly right, but I think in this case it did.
Well, you lucked out. How about that? Now, you were the curator of the planetarium at the Lakeview Museum. Besides the size at this planetarium, what is the different experience folks can expect when they visit?
Well, the whole design of the dome creates a new environment. At Lakeview, it was a small dome enclosed by walls, and when you walked in, you really felt like you were in a tiny space. And here, it's a 40-foot dome. It's a 30% larger area, but we have an open back, and we've tilted the dome at 6 degrees towards the front to give you a more immersive feel. Okay. So the whole experience feels like it's enormous in there.
My goodness.
And the architecture of the room just made a huge difference. And then, of course, the ability to remove the seating means that we can have not just an astronomy theater, but we can have experiences.
Like sleepovers, right?
Sleepovers, any experience with enhanced by the digital sky or digital scenes from around the world if we have something on our digital system, or just the starry night sky.
Well,
any of those things.
It sounds like it's going to be a blast and a great educational tool for not only young folks, students, but also adults and their parents as well.
We certainly expect it.
All right, well, Sheldon, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow, and enjoy yourself after all this hard work tomorrow at the opening of the Riverfront Museum.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, coming up, sports is next with Jim Mattson. He's going to give us an in-depth look at the IHSA exhibit here in the museum. Plus, it is week 9 of the high school football season, believe it or not. Sports is up next.
Hello, Heart of Illinois. It's a whole new ball game in downtown Peoria as the museum opens, the block opens, and it's a beautiful exhibit here for sports fans. The IHSA Peak Performance Exhibit. It's a neat exhibit. You can actually go here and test your fastball, see how hard you can kick a soccer ball. I'm going to throw my lefty here a pitch. Now, they haven't actually turned it on yet. They'll wait for opening day tomorrow, so I can't tell you, but that was probably about 85 miles per hour. I didn't quite air it all out. But seriously, the IHSA is very proud to be a part of Peoria's new museum, the Block Project.
We reached out to all the member schools in our state, which is just over 780 member schools, and they provided artifacts and some of the uniforms and apparel that you see in the cases.
One of the neat things about the museum, the great, neat, unique mascots in Illinois. We got the Freeport Pretzels, we got the Abingdon Commandos representing the Heart of Illinois, the Flaming Hearts of Effingham. A lot of neat things for you high school fans to see, and of course, this is a big, big night of high school sports. It's week 9 of the high school football season. There's plenty online tonight.
Elmwood and Normal U-High are both chasing perfection. Elmwood is 8-0 and a huge favorite tonight at Bushnell Prairie City. Meanwhile, 8-0 Normal U-High has a tough battle tonight against Peoria and Notre Dame.
You know, one of our goals was to go 9-0. One of our goals was to win the last regular season game of the year and to have a high seed going to the playoffs.
Bloomington is down in Decatur. They need a win tonight to win the Big 12 Conference. A lot of teams tonight are on the playoff bubble. Teams like Peoria Heights, DMAC need a win to get in the playoffs. Every team's trying to improve their playoff seed tonight. It's a big, big night of high school football. We're going to have highlights of 19 games for you tonight on Sports Final.
Tonight, of course, we'll have all your high school football week 9 highlights, even more highlights on our internet, on Rewind. Don't forget tomorrow when the football playoff pairings come out, we'll have full coverage tomorrow night. One of the most exciting, one of the biggest weekends for IHSA sports. The playoff pairings come out tomorrow. They're also playing for a pretty big trophy in baseball, the NLCS.
The Cardinals take a commanding 3-1 lead. It was a dominating win last night. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Cardinal offense. But the real star, Adam Wainwright, 7 brilliant innings, allowing just 4 hits. Wainwright bouncing back after struggling against Washington.
I believe in my ability. I know I have the stuff to go out there and pitch a great game. So it was important for me to not get too down about last game. Come out here and be ready to take the ball from the first pitch on.
All of us getting some hits today and contributing to a victory and scoring 8 runs. Hopefully we'll carry the confidence over into tomorrow.
Also tonight in Peoria, it's a big night for hockey. The Peoria Rivermen's home opener is tonight. The Rivermen are 0-3 after a tough season opening road trip, but opening night is always special.
It's a big deal, and we play Rockford right off the hump. And again, they're all important. Everything matters. And it matters even more on opening night.
So a busy sports final with all your high school football and Major League Baseball playoff highlights. But don't forget tomorrow, really a special historic day in Peoria, the opening of the museum. You sports fans will want to flock down here. This IHSA Peak Performance, it's really neat. Not only kind of an IHSA museum, but also an interactive museum. The kids are going to love to see how fast their reflexes are, how much fun they can have shooting hoops and throwing their fastball. So again, get on out to the block this week in a special weekend in Peoria. Don't forget, during our preview show at 7 p.m., Lee Hall and I will give you a really long look at all the exhibits going on. That's coming up tonight. Right now, we're taking a break. Don't forget, Sports Final is going to be busy tonight. We're coming right back.
Welcome back, folks. Well, there are some interesting art pieces in this gallery that we're in, and this museum is just spectacular. And I've only seen a little bit of it.
Absolutely. I grew up in Peoria, went to the old Lakeview and the planetarium, and it was great childhood memories, but this is a new era, new memories here at this museum.
And if you want to learn more about what you can see at the Visitor Center and at the museum and Cat Visitor Center, just be sure to tune in to a 1-hour special airing at 7 p.m. tonight. That's on our sister station, WEEK, titled The Block is Built. And the block is very wonderful down here in downtown Peoria. And it was wonderful to be down here tonight at 5:30. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Right, Chuck?
We'll see you back in the studio tonight at 10.
Good night.
Bye-bye.